without a trace. 1845, they all came out of the woodwork on the day the Nazi died. They say the prisoner of Spandau was a symbol of defeat, whilst Hess remained in prison, then the fascists they would beat. So the promise of an Aryan world would never materialize. So why did they all come out of the woodwork on the day the Nazi died? The world is riddled with maggots, the maggots are getting fat. They're making a tasty meal of all the bosses and bureaucrats. They're taking over the boardrooms and they're fat and full of pride. And they all came out of the woodwork on the day the Nazi died. So if you meet with these historians, I'll tell you what to say. Tell them that the Nazis never really went away. They're out there burning houses down and peddling racist lies. And we'll never rest again until every Nazi dies.
Woke up one morning and there were soldiers. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Woke up one morning and there were soldiers. The invasion had begun. Lend me your shoulder, we'll stand together. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Lend me your shoulder, we'll stand together. But I feel my time has come, and if I die here for the resistance, oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. And if I die here for the resistance, you must lay me in my grave among the flowers upon the mountain. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Among the flowers upon the mountain, let me rest among the brave. Someday the people will pick the flowers. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Someday the people will pick the flowers, and they will remember my name. This is the flower of the resistance. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. This is the flower of the resistance, and those who died for liberty. This is the flower of the resistance. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. This is the flower of the resistance, and those who died for liberty. This is the flower of our resistance, and those who died for liberty.
Come all of you good workers, good news to you I'll tell, of how the good old Union has come in here to dwell.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
My daddy was a miner and I'm a miner's son, and I'll stick with the Union till every battle's won.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
They say in Harlan County there are no neutrals there. You'll either be a Union man or a thug for J.H. Blair.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Oh, workers, can you stand it? Oh, tell me how you can. Will you be a lousy scab or will you be a man?
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Don't scab for the bosses, don't listen to their lies. Us poor folks haven't got a chance unless we organize.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
I was born in the Dublin street where the lion runs do beat, and the lovely English people walked all over us. And every single night when they tell, come home tight, he'd invite the neighbours out with his chorus. Come out, you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your wife how you won medals down in Flanders. Tell her how the IRA made you run like hell away from the green and lovely lace of Gillishandra. Come tell us how you slew them old Arabs 2 by 2, like the Zulus they had knives, bows and arrows. Of how bravely you faced one with your 16-pounder gun, and you frightened all the natives to the marrow. Come out, you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your wife how you won medals down in Flanders. Tell her how the IRA made you run like hell away from the green and lovely lakes of Gillishandra. Come let us hear you tell how you stand the brave Parnell, and taught them well and truly persecuted. Where are the stares and jeers that you proudly let us hear when our heroes of 16 were executed? Come out, you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your wife how you won medals down in Flanders. Tell her how the IRA made you run like hell away from the green and lovely lakes of Gillishandra.
Ding dong, the witch is dead. Witch all with the wicked witch. Ding dong, the wicked witch is dead. Ding dong, the witch is dead. Witch all with the wicked witch. Ding dong, the wicked witch is dead.
Oh, come out, you pretty sons, come out and fight without your guns. Show your wife how you won medals up in Derry. You murdered 16 men and you'll do the same again. So get out of here and take your bloody army. Come out, you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your wife how you won medals down in Flanders. Tell her how the IRA made you run like hell away from the green and lovely lakes of Gillishandra. Oh, come out, you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your wife how you won medals down in Flanders. Tell her how the IRA made you run like hell away from the green and lovely lakes of Gillishandra.
Buckingham Palace announced the death of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II.
Do that again. I didn't understand it that time. Take it easy. Yes, Mr. Hitler. Hitler started out in 1932. Hitler started out in 1932. When he started out, he took the home from the We're gonna tear Hitler down. We're gonna tear Hitler down. We're gonna tear Hitler down someday. We're gonna bring him to the ground. We're gonna bring him to the ground. We're gonna bring him to the ground someday. When Hitler started out, he took the Jews from their home. Hitler started out, took the Jews from their home.
Hello there, hello there, hello there, everybody. How the devil are we all? I am alive. Technically. And that's all I'm prepared to say at this stage. I do not wish to, I'm pleading the fifth in other areas. Our media is a bit shit. Yeah, just a smidge. Solly, what are you referring to specifically? You're going to have to narrow that down a little. Yes, I'm also technically alive. Oh, we'll get you. Everyone go and follow the alive Sister Rose. Although, frankly, even if she were not alive, you should follow her nonetheless, because she is wise teachings and very funny shit, YouTube poop videos. Famous for the Burger King, etc. Someday I'll go on your stream again, Logan, so I can say penis. Well, you are free to come on and say your truths, if you so wish. Thank you, Eric the Red, who for subscribing with 24 months. That is 2 years. Seek help. Who says, so how angry will we get tonight? Probably a bit. Probably a bit is the answer. Not as bad as some nights. We won't be tackling as much genocide, although there will still be tangential genocide-related activities. Not activities, discussions. So it won't be as horrific as some other nights, but still pretty bad. Pretty bad. Yeah, no. Anyway, it appears to be hailing as. Where the fuck are you that it's hailing? It's been lovely here. Quite cold, but a nice bit of sunshine, and I'm fine with that. We'll be watching Navarro's Birmingham video. Bastani interviewed the India Alliance guy and basically admitted their centrist and not progressive at all. I didn't even see that Navarro had done a Birmingham video. If you wish to link it, I'd be more than happy to watch it live. And also, hello, the Jack Meller. Yes. We will be talking a little bit of tangential related stuff to the elections on Thursday. They're certainly related to these things, but not necessarily entirely within the scope of them. Our media is shite, but yeah, absolutely. They're going after Zach Polanski, of course. It's dry here, and there's a big bus across the road, and I don't know why the fuck that's there. I don't know. Anyway, yes. I put it in your Discord. Did you indeed, sir? Did you indeed? Well, I should probably go and check that out then. Add it to the list of... But basically, we've got bits of stuff tonight. There are bits of things and that. Navarro. Amazon's... Okay, well, I see an Amazon thing. That's not Birmingham related. Don't get me wrong. I got no problem with Navarro covering anything else, but I specifically wanted that thing. And I don't see it. I don't see it, chat. I don't know. Unless you put it in a different bit. There are too many bits on the Discord. That's the problem. And I'm a fucking incompetent, so there's that. That's also a thing. Thank you, Dr. Phil Decker with Bitty Bits. Thank you, Dingus Van Sant, who says penis. Much love for your 14 months and your penis. It's a very nice penis. There we go, Jack Mellor. What we got here? Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. Birmingham's politics are totally insane. That is kind of true, to be fair. It's a bit more rat focused.
Poison.
Oi, sell me your cube straight off the bat. Okay. There's a face I hadn't seen in a little while. Okay, it's on the list. It's on the flipping list. Where do we start? Well, I'll start with shilling. How about that? Right. If you're a new hero, but even if you're not here, you can hit the follow button and all that jazz. If you're on twitch.tv/KFLogan1875, you can. You can hit the follow button. You can subscribe for some amount of money. And I'm a little bit annoyed. At the weekend, we were talking about Roman numerals, and I said that you could subscribe to the channel for V pounds, as in £5 in Roman numerals, and no one laughed. I was really happy with myself. I did a legitimate Roman numerals based joke, and no one fucking laughed. Disgusting. Anyway. Yeah, it's I think I've still got the $5 a month, haven't I? There we go. $5 a month. Who made this for me? I can't even fucking remember, but whoever you are, you're a legend. $5. Ah! Anyway. No, I wanted to get rid of it. There we go. Right. Anyway. You can subscribe for $5. Well, actually, it's probably not even $5 anymore, is it? I have no fucking idea how much it costs. Too much, probably. Just go and buy yourself a beer or something instead, or maybe some heroin, or a hand job. I don't fucking know. What do young people do with money these days? I have no idea. Anyway, $4.99 on a browser or $6.49 on mobile because poors have to pay more apparently. Well, there you go. Such is life. As someone once pointed out, it's very expensive being poor. Don't I just fucking know it? I chucked a little silently. Well, thank you, Imagination Scene. Oh yeah, I should probably turn my alert box back on because I don't have a guest today. XXX. It rhymes with dirty. Bertie? What? Am I going on with no justice? Well, not tonight, I don't think. We haven't planned anything. Kev, were you assaulted by a ginger murder machine? I was. And now, late of this world, ginger legend, Rory Katz. Get your Rory Katz emotes in chat, everybody. He will never die because he will live on in all of our hearts. Yes. 30? Yeah, 30 rhymes with dirty. That is also true. Skirty? Flirty? There are various things that rhyme with it. Anyway. Oh, for fuck's sake. How am I this bad at this? Right. You can give me money, right, in the form of subscriptions, bits, super chats via the Streamlabs link below. I've got a PayPal and Patreon, YouTube, Blue Sky, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, virtually none of which I ever fucking use, but you can follow me there in case I do, maybe sometimes. If you're on YouTube, hello, you can subscribe for NAFL, you can hit the bell icon to get notifications, sometimes, maybe, I don't fucking know or care at this point. I need to get better about uploading shit on YouTube, I really do. Anyway, because I do like bits of, like, I'll do a segment, and then I just don't put it up because I think I can't be bothered. Like yesterday, I was like, oh, I should probably do a thing, and then the snooker was on, so I thought, fuck it, I want to watch the snooker, so I just did. It's not a healthy attitude in many respects, but you know what? I've gotten to, Jesus, I'm 39 this month, and I don't think I'm going to change at this point. I don't think there's going to be a revolution in my general approach to things at any point between now and death. I'm a creature of necessity in many respects. I do what I have to survive. Unless I need to change, I don't bother. Anyway. I was 40 last month, Kev. Al. Al. Can we get some L's in chat for Sister Rose? Loser. Oh, I'm so unkind. Been noticing 1 or 2 extra greys in my beard, which is a bit fucking unpleasant. But there we go. That noise you may have heard then was the Stream Deck being plugged in, because I just remembered to do that. Because I wanted to press nerd to ram home the insult, but that was unsuccessful on this occasion. Where did I get to? So yeah, you can do, if you're on YouTube, you can subscribe, click the bell icon to get notifications, thumb the video up, helps with the algorithm for the algorithm gods, etc. You can become a member for £99. No, not £99, you fucking dopey cunt. 99 pence. 1/100th of the originally stated price. What a bargain by comparison. Not a bargain in total, just by comparison. Yes, for 99 pence, which is like no amount of money, basically. It will not buy you a Freddo in that one shop in London. Oh, for fuck's sake, I got rid of this. God, I hate the world. There we go, right.
Very, very, very,
Oh,
very, very cringe. Very, very, very cringe.
The cringe button and the nerd button are next to each other, and I press them both at the same time.
Nothing bad can happen. It can only good happen.
Do you see what you did, Journey and Jordan? Do you see what you did? You gave... This is a red rag to a very technologically incompetent bull.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, I am, John. Now, yes. Did I do... I think I completed the shilling. Who cares? You can or can't give me money. I don't... You know, whatever. Thank you. Much love. The Jack fucking Meller with 10 gifted memberships. Much love to you, my friend. I must remember to suck your dick if we ever meet. Yes. My boss got fish and chips the other day and was charged £1.40 for 1 sachet of mayo. I'd have walked out. I literally would have walked out. If someone tried to charge me that amount of money, I would leave. I'd say, no, I'm not paying your fucking price. I will literally go hungry. I will go home and make myself a sandwich. I'm not paying that price. It would fucking kill me. And again, it doesn't even matter that I'm poor. If I suddenly became rich, if you gave me £10 million, I would still react exactly the same way. I would still say I'm not paying that amount of money. Can we send you money through Western Union? Well, I don't have an account with them as far as I'm aware, but I mean, in theory, I guess you could. I do live in a place where such services are accessible, but I don't have an account with them. Yeah. Who the fuck wants mayo with fish and chips? Well, yeah, I wasn't going to mention how disgusting that is. But the point being, like, I wouldn't ever pay that. It's just not going to happen. And I've done that before. Like, I socially, I'm not the most awkward person in the world. I can be a little introverted, perhaps, at times. But I'm not the... Like, I will literally make a scene. Like, if someone tries that shit in public, I will make a fucking scene and, like, huff out of the place. They will know they have wronged me. Which means that other people don't wish to go out for meals with me. For that exact reason, I imagine. And the fact that I eat like a pig. So, you know. See, it's not moody. Moody is like an irrational or unfair reaction. Right? That I think is a perfectly reasonable response to what is essentially theft at that point. What you are doing is robbing me. Because that probably cost you fucking 5 pence and you are charging me £1.40. You're taking the fucking piss, mate. I know you've got overheads. I know you've got staff to pay and all of that. But that's daylight robbery. You can go fuck yourself. No, I don't like ketchup. I'm not a ketchup fan. If I were to have anything, it's got to be curry sauce. I don't mind gravy, but curry sauce is the best. 100%. Anyway. Scrandle time. You know what? Fuck it. We haven't done Scrandle in a while. Let's hope it doesn't go mental like it did last time when it wasn't even telling me what the things were. Scrandle.com. There we go. Fuck it. Scrandle, bitches. Let's go. No, not mayonnaise and gravy. Just gravy and on chips or whatever. Or cheesy chips. Cheesy chips are dope. Kev is a Karen. No, again, Karening is out of order. What I do is ethical responses to unethical situations. I don't get violent, I get mad. Anyway. Boom. Scrandle. You get 2 pictures of food from football grounds, soccer if you're American and thus incorrect about these things. And we get to compare and contrast. Let's go. Okay, they're both fucking weird. First off, Brighton and Hove Albion in England. Sunday dinner. That is grotesque. Firstly, the plate appears to be part of the food, which I don't mind as a concept. But what you seem to have there is possibly pork, I think, in gravy with... Is that 2 potato fritters? What kind of fucking Sunday dinner is this? Horrible, vaguely uncooked looking carrots. I'm not sure what this is. Like some sort of cottage cheese or something? I don't know what that fucking... Is that horseradish? Either way, it's disgusting. And it's £8. So I'm not entirely sure about that. And then... in Werder Bremen, so that's Germany, you have a pizza donut, which appears to be the toppings of a pizza.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
On the bread base of a donut. Holy shit, these are both abominations. And the thing is, it's 50-50. We have to choose one of them. And I mean... I can't, ethically, I can't choose the Brighton and Hove Albion abortion fucking Sunday dinner. I can't do it. The pizza, like, ethically there's nothing wrong with the pizza donut. It just looks fucking mental. But I'm sure it probably tastes okay, albeit with scant cheese, as always. That's a bugbear of mine. Food bugbear. Not putting enough cheese on shit. If I buy a pizza, I want you to cover the pizza in cheese, you fucking cheap bastards. I will pay extra for proper layering of cheese. Don't give me a smattering. Don't give me a sprinkling of cheese. I want to not see the fucking sauce. I want to have cheese on my fucking pizza, you cunt. Oh, disgusting. Right, okay, we're going for the £2.60 pizza donut, even though I wouldn't eat either of these fucking things. Thank you for... Who won? Didn't even tell me who won. Cunts. Right. Derby. Hang on. No, sorry. Women's Super League Merseyside Derby. So that's just somewhere in fucking Liverpool. Okay, cool. That's fish and chips. Hang on. You've got to see the full... They're describing this as fish and chips. That is 2 large fish fingers and some, frankly, not very well cooked chips. For £10. For 10 of your pound sterling. That's not even proper fish. Those are 2 fish fingers. That's some processed shit. That's fish bollocks wrapped in batter. Grotesque. And then Scouse pie from Everton. £3.60. What the fuck is... I'm going to have to look at what that even is. Scouse pie. I've misspelt pie, who cares? Scouse pie is a traditional Liverpool pastry dish containing scouse. Well, that has explained a lot. A thick, slow-cooked stew of beef or lamb, potatoes, carrots and onions. So it's like a hot pot, basically. Topped with pastry. It's a hot pot with pastry. Okay. Yeah, so it's a pastry stew. It's a slightly shit pie. Okay, fair enough. It looks manky as fuck. Look at it. I can't even tell what it is. It looks like it survived Chernobyl. True. Yeah, it does look. Honestly, it looks like it's been tortured. It looks like that pie has seen some shit, man. That pie only had 2 weeks left to retirement. Look at it. Fucking horrible, man. I mean, just for the fact it's only £3.60 as opposed to... I'm not paying a tenner for that. You can fuck... Again, I'd put it back. I'd say, no, I'm not paying that. Nah, fuck you. So we're going basic ass fucking hot pot pie. And I lost. Who the fuck chose the £10 fish fingers and chip? What is that? I don't want to see that colour on my fucking dinner plate. That is the colour of, like, toxic waste or something. What the fuck is that? It's blue. A Smurf came on it. Yeah, this is what Smurfette's pussy farts look like. That's a Smurfette queef all over your chips. God damn, that is fucking rotten. That is rotten. Oh. Yeah, that's not food. I can't eat that. Fucking hell. Anyway, okay, we haven't even looked at this thing. Okay, so we've got some Spanish type food or something. Right, okay. Gosport Borough, so we've got England here on the left. Nachos! You know what? Passable. Not amazing, but passable. Fine. 5 is a bit much, but whatever. This thing. Oh, Jesus Christ. Even the name of it. Cotton candy fries. I hate all 3 of those words. In that combination, unacceptable. Topped with blue mayo and cotton candy. That's candy floss for British people. That is an abomination. That's at a baseball game as well. I lied when I said soccer. This is a baseball ground. That is unspeakable. Honestly, this is the worst thing Canada did since the genocide against the First Nations people. This is almost as bad as the mass graves at Kamloops. I'm just saying. It is. And you know it. So we're going with the slightly dodgy nachos. Oh, and I win! Who the fuck? Nearly 1 in 5 people voted for the fucking Smurf spunk. Disgusting. Right. Sri Lankan chicken curry. A lot of chickpea action going on there. Okay. That's at Orlando Pride. I presume that's the football team, not like a Pride event in Orlando. Maybe it isn't. Fucking 12 quid though is a bit steep, but okay. Or a very sad cheeseburger, but you do also get a pint with it at Meadow Lane. What's Meadow Lane? Is that Notts County or something? It is... Yeah, Notts County's ground. There you go. Good memory, Kev. Well done. I think I might have been there a long time ago. Anyway, the burger looks a bit gross in all honesty, but you get a pint with it. Again, though, they're both 12 quid, or 11.90 and 11.95. Neither of them are great choices. Like, if you're going with sort of, I don't know, I suppose, the taste of the food, you probably go Sri Lankan curry, right? But you do get a pint with your cheeseburger. And even though it would be a £12 pint, you do get a burger with it. And basically that's the thing. Do I want a nice-ish looking curry for 12 quid or a pint and a vaguely passable burger for 12 quid. Yeah, I think you've got. I mean, if we because it's called Scrandle, not fucking, not on the Lashdall. So it's I think you've got to go with the food, and the curry clearly wins. I think there. Yeah, good choice, lads. Oh. The Dutch are a genuinely weird people. We haben ein serious Problem. FC Twente with Twente ham. I don't know what that is on it. It's a very... Oh, shut up! Oh, bollocks! I pressed the... Oh, fucking cunts! I didn't mean to press the thing. Oh. Apologies. That was just Netherlands slander. I wasn't going to vote for it anyway, but I did accidentally because I'm a dopey cunt. Anyway. So we've got some sweets there for... Is that a fucking type? £37. I wish I was on camera now so you could see how disgusted I am. How genuinely flabbergasted I am by that. At Wembley Stadium in England, in Angleterre, £37, which is what, $50 US for a pretty small bag of pick and mix. I mean, I'm already not voting for it. Even if I wanted to eat pick and mix, which I don't because I'm not 6 anymore, I'm not voting for that. Wembley, you're a fucking disgrace. You should never have been built. Honestly, if you collapsed, hopefully with nobody inside it, that would be better for everybody. And then at Marine AFC, which apparently is in England, I've never heard of it, you can get a slightly crusty-looking chicken curry pie for £5, which is fine. £37. Fuck off, you robbing cunt. Again, if they tried to charge me, £37, I wouldn't just place it back. I would throw it on the floor and leave. You can lick my arsehole for 37 fucking quid, you cunts. Pie. What? 14% went with 37 quid pick and mix. Get out. Some people have got more money than fucking sense. Pie and mushy peas. I mean, this has got to be Birmingham. Surely. Mushy pies. Thakeley AFC, never heard of it. But pie and mushy peas for £3.50. Very reasonable. I'm on board with this so far. And then at Oakland, California. So maybe at the Athletics, I don't know. Or didn't they move? I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, the Impossible Burger, which doesn't look. What makes it impossible? What is the impossibility about this burger? No, they're not peas. It's mushy peas. So it's not. They're not peas. It's processed shite, basically. But it's very nice. Anyway, I say very nice. I am common as fuck, but you know. Impossible Burger with fries and a Pepsi, to be fair, so you do get a drink. That's nice. But it is, oh Jesus Christ, £24.45. I mean, more reasonable, not the most unreasonable pricing we've seen so far, which is ludicrous because that's fucking robbery. That is absolute robbery. But £37 pick and mix, it takes my breath away. But either way, that's still far too much for that small amount of food. So, mushy peas, get fucked, America. Get fucked. De-Yankification now. Oh, my word. Japan, I know you're weird. You're weird and you like weird shit. Why have you got a heavily burned 2 sausage hot dog in a bun that has been burnt so badly it's literally black, like jet black? I don't know that you could digest that. I think it might desiccate your innards. You'd have to carbon date that fucking bun. That it's charcoal, it's coal. with teriyaki sauce, seaweed, and scrambled egg. I do like scrambled egg. Oh, it's dyed bread. What? Why are they dyeing the bread to make it look burned? That's not appetising. Anyway, $6.50. I mean, assuming that is a dyed piece of bread rather than a burned piece of bread, £6.50, reasonable. Perfectly reasonable. And then you got Redcar FC, bit of northeast representation here. Chicken curry chip butty. A butty is essentially a bread bun, basically, with filling. So a specific kind of sandwich type thing. But you've got bread and you've got chicken curry and chips for £3. Do you know what? £3. I mean, I'd probably eat both of these, but for £3 you can't go wrong with that. It's £3. Nowadays you get fuck all for £3. That's dope. Yeah, there we go. Lovely stuff. Lovely stuff. Oh, we've got a nice selection of curries this time. Okay, from Sporting Khalsa, which is in England, apparently. You got a nice curry there. But hang on, you know what? I think this is the first one where I'm not disgusted with either the actual food or the pricing. I genuinely would eat either of these things. Albeit, one of them I've just noticed is a place that I would never go to eat. We'll get to that in a second. I think I know who I'm voting for. Anyway, from Khalsa, Sporting Khalsa, you have a chicken curry with rice and a samosa. The samosa looks a bit dry, but, you know, but passable. And then you've got chicken curry, and they're both £6, so both perfectly reasonable. Chicken curry and chips. Perfectly nice. Except, of course, it's from the Villa scum, so they can get fucked. Sporting Khalsa. Get fucked! Cunts! Hull City. You have a hot dog. A slightly messy looking hot dog. With some chips. £7. Nice. Some questionable chicken nachos from Nashville FC. I'll you know what, I'll stick bong side and we'll go with the hot dog. Yeah. How many more of these have we got left? What the fuck is that? Now we've got a bakery on the left. We've got a whole ass bakery, apparently. At Portsmouth, at Pompey, you can get an 18-inch sausage roll. That's too much sausage roll. That's too much sausage roll. I'm not going there for a fucking buffet. It's a fucking football match. I'm not going here for a gourmet fucking 3-course meal. I'll be honest with you though, perfectly reasonably priced. 18 inches of sausage for £11. That's not bad. I suppose if the 2 or 3 of you chip in, you've got yourself a perfectly reasonable little snack. You cannot handle 18 inches. I definitely can't. That would leave my arsehole looking terrible. Either in the literal sense or you know, afterwards, after the processing of said meal. Yeah, that's too much for football. You don't need that. And then there's Leeds United with a cheese pizza, perfectly reasonable, £4.20. Blaze it. Oh, who went with the 18 hot dog? 18-inch dog. I got 6 out of 10, which is worse than the 8 out of 10 of the community average. Well, the community can suck my dingle dangle. Anyway. Anti-Semitism. There's no segue. There's no foreplay here. We're just going straight in. Today, the Prime Minister hosted an anti-Semitism summit at Downing Street. Now, these discussions always have to be caveated, I think. Because I don't want either a Jewish or indeed non-Jewish person to think that I don't think that anti-Semitism is a problem and that it shouldn't be tackled. Because of course it is, and of course it should. But I am getting sick to the back teeth of the obvious political chicanery involved in this. Really, really fucking annoyed. It's very grating for the obvious truth of this to be ignored by mainstream media, right? So, if the question is there a rise in anti-Semitism? Yes, there is. Is it a problem? Yes, it is. Should the UK government do everything it can to try and tackle that problem? Yes. Should there be cultural dialogue between different religious and ethnic groups in order to try and bring about a reasonable understanding and a multicultural dialogue and all the rest of it? Yeah, absolutely. Is this being weaponised, however, for the betterment of not just the Israeli state, but of Zionism and its crumbling support in the British country? Yeah, that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what this is. Not the anti-Semitism itself, the weaponisation of it for obvious political, geostrategic aims. This is being weaponised, okay? Because when they talk about an anti-Semitism crisis, there isn't one. I'm sorry, there fucking isn't. There is rising anti-Semitism, and that's bad. But Jewish people are not the most targeted group in this nation, either as a totality or as a percentage, a relative percentage of the overall hate crime statistics. They're just not. So, if this is a crisis, then what about the much more significant issue of anti-Muslim violence or anti-LGBTQ violence that exists in the country? I note that the Prime Minister is not holding summits for Islamophobic bigotry and terrorism. I notice he's not holding summits at Downing Street calling it a crisis that LGBTQ people are being attacked. And that's the thing. That's the thing that really disgusts me here, is that it actually betrays the victims of anti-Semitism to use it in this way. Because you're not doing this, Keir Starmer or any of your acolytes, because you actually care about Jewish people. If you did, you'd be calling out the anti-Semitism of organisations that attack Jewish people who oppose the state of Israel. Or you'd be openly attacking the anti-Semitic caricatures that are appearing in British media of people like Zach Polanski, again, for having the temerity to be a Jewish man who opposes the Zionist state. This is being used as cover for Zionism. The Zionist lobby in Britain, both its foreign and domestic elements, know that support for Israel has crumbled. Has absolutely fucking crumbled since Israel's response to the October the 7th attacks. And so they're looking for a way of, A, trying to bolster that support by making it seem like the victim playing is worthwhile or necessary, to make it seem like the problem is much larger than it is. And, of course, to lend credence to the prior weaponisation of anti-Semitism against opponents of Israel. So they realised it worked with people like Jeremy Corbyn, and they hope it's going to work against Zach Polanski as well. Again, attacking a Jewish man, but that's not anti-Semitic, apparently. Because he's the wrong kind of Jew, and apparently saying things like that doesn't mean you're anti-Semitic. Apparently. But the right wing in this country and the Zionist lobby realise full well that they need to be able to weaponise the accusation more effectively, and that people aren't listening. So they need to big up the threat of anti-Semitism in order to make it believable that everyone you call anti-Semitic is actually anti-Semitic. They're trying to put the genie back inside the bottle. And it ain't gonna fucking work. They can try and push this narrative as much as they like, But the reality is not borne out by the lived experience of the British people. Or by the statistics. We know what the hate crime statistics are, and Jewish people are not overly represented in them. They are not the most targeted group. And yet, the only group you ever hear about being targeted in this way are Jewish people, because it can be used for victim-playing narrative points and the weaponisation of the claim of anti-Semitism by Israel's defenders here in the United Kingdom. And to all of the people involved in this, you can honestly go fuck yourselves. Up to and including the fucking wretched creatures at the Crown Prosecution Service who decided to multiple times charge and try and convict the Palestine protests, the Palestine action, Albit Systems activists who were found guilty today and will presumably be going back to prison where they will be treated very poorly as they were the first time. Get ready for more hunger strikes is what I would suggest to the authorities. Yeah. Absolutely disgusting stuff. But whilst the Labour Party have been continually attacking Zach Polanski for being a terrible, bigoted, evil piece of shit, even though he isn't, the Reform Party said that they're going to open concentration camps. So that's nice.
This is Zach Polanski, aka the Breast Whisperer.
We came to you and said, can you make my breast bigger through hypnotherapy? And you said, yes.
But mind over...
Yes.
But mind over mammary is just one of Zach's many...
Why can't I pause this fucking video, you Twitter, you cunt? Fuck's sake. Right, we'll try again.
AKA the Breast Whisperer.
Firstly, the yankification of this. Literally, look at this absolute melter.
I'm on a beach walking, and I'm wearing aviators. I'm just like Donald Trump or something. Ha 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 ha!
It's embarrassing.
AKA the Breast Whisperer.
We came to you and said, can you make my breast bigger through hypnotherapy? And you said, yes.
But mind over mammary is just one of Zach's many mad ideas.
Haha, boob, the hypno boob. The establishment really think the hypno boob thing works, and it doesn't, does it?
As illegal migrants continue to turn up on
They're not illegal.
our shores, Zach and his Green Party say they want Britain to have no borders at all.
Not true, has never ever been the policy. Absolute nonsense.
Now it's clear that the failed Uni-Party era is over and there is a battle
Your party is full of ex-Tories. Like you, Zia.
for the soul of our country between Reform and the Greens. That's why today we announce an important new policy. In order to deport all illegal migrants in Britain, we're going to need to detain tens of thousands at a time.
Yeah, you're going to need to sort of bring them together in one place, aren't you? You're going to need to concentrate those people into some kind of camp. What would you call that? What would you call a place where you need to concentrate people into a some sort of camp of some kind? I'm not sure. But it gets better, chat.
Migrants will not be able to leave these detention centres, and each will be held there for a couple of weeks before being deported. So here's our promise. A Reform government will not put any migrant detention centres in any constituency with a Reform MP. We will not put them where Reform controls the council. And of the remaining areas, we will prioritise Green parliamentary constituencies and Green-controlled councils to put those migrant detention centres.
So, they're going to specifically put them in Green Party areas. This is the most Trumpian, Yankified shit imaginable. This fucking pork barreling crap of specifically targeting these local areas with just bribery, just open bribery, or in this case, threats. If you vote for our enemy, and that's how they see the Green Party, they're not just opponents, they're enemies, then we'll open Hedgehog Alcatraz. Great suggestion in chat. So we don't have alligator Alcatraz, we have a wild urban fox Alcatraz. Just give you a little nip, you know? Badger Alcatraz, I'm not sure. And it goes beyond that, because firstly, I thought you were patriotic, so surely it doesn't matter where the things are, right? It matters that this is the best locality to have any specific thing. Why target specific areas of the country just because certain people voted there? Because very few of those areas will get 50% plus of Green Party votes. And secondly, it's so spite-based, this. It's so pathetically spite-based, which is entirely the point of the right wing. It's just childish gibberish. I've said this before. They emotionally develop to the age of about 10 and then they just completely stop. And so the fact that this kind of childish shite would appeal to them is of no surprise to me. But also, just from the Reform Party's perspective, what they are essentially saying that is, it doesn't matter who you vote for, if you just so happen to live in an area that elects a Green Party MP, fuck you. Because like a Green Party MP somewhere in this country will be elected on like 25% of the vote. Because you're going to have some constituencies that have like relatively tight races between like 5 different parties. There's going to be a Reform MP elected with 25% of the vote, which means 3/4 of the electorate didn't vote for that person. And yet you are going to punish all of those people, including the Reform voters. And when I say punish, I don't think it's a punishment to have one of these places, but they're seen as bad, and the Reform Party see this as a punishment for people voting Green in a specific area. You are punishing the Reform Party voters in an area that just happens to elect a Green Party MP because the other people voted for the Green Party. So basically, fuck those Reform voters, eh? And that's without even getting into the fact that they're just like, they can just openly say, oh, we're going to open loads of concentration camps in Britain. That's fine. That's not even being focused on. Zach Polanski retweeting somebody led the fucking headlines for 3 days about how much of a terrible bigot he is. The Reform Party can literally say we're going to have a politically targeted concentration camp system set up, and that's it. There's no like, it doesn't even make a fucking, doesn't make a thing. No one's calling this the obviously weird bullshit Nazism that it is. The media are not going after Zia Yusuf or Nigel Farage for being racists, even though they absolutely fucking are. This country's media are scum. And we need a thorough de-Yankification of all of it. Having said that, there is one Yank I wanted to just briefly listen to.
King and Queen came to your great country, and you said this.
Oh, total agreement with him. Because I was in India. This was about 15 years ago, and I met with historians there. They stole all the artifacts, not just from India, all over the world. They refused to give it back. So they have the king and the queen, you know, the royalty. They're a bunch of deadbeats, slackers, the worst welfare cheats in the world.
We're having that line again.
The royalty, they're a bunch of deadbeats, slackers, the worst welfare cheats in the world.
Literally, biggest welfare queens who ever existed. Go off, mate.
So the countries ask, can we have our artifacts back? And they say no. Meantime, India, they had 2 million volunteers join the King's Army in World War II to defend the crown. 100,000 casualties, many more injured. I think the least that the royal family, the royal stiffs, could do is not stiff the Indian people. But they do it, and they don't think twice about it. And they should have met with the Epstein victims.
So,
True.
The attack on my monarch and his wife there. This is
Piers, don't lick the boot. You're a Catholic, mate. You're a fucking Catholic. You could never be monarch. Because people don't realise this. It's still on the books in Britain. If at any point in your life you have been Catholic, you can never be monarch. In theory, you could be a practicing Muslim and become monarch. That's allowed. Because they didn't foresee Muslims coming here. Even though at the time they were taking over lands run by, Muslims. Anyway, the point being, you could never be monarch, Piers, because you are Catholic, and you're like,
here's my king. Here's my king.
Fuck off, you minge.
This is about the Koh-i-Noor diamond, which is an ongoing.
Koh-i-Noor. At least pronounce it properly. God almighty. Piers Morgan's a knob. Anyway.
Going argument and dispute. It dates back several hundred years, and I'm not going to get into that particular argument. But
well, I will briefly, just to say, it's not as clear cut as some people would have you believe. Now, it does not belong to Britain, and we should give it back. The problem is, who do we give it to? Because the problem is, there are like 7 different countries that claim it. Which is a bit of an issue, because it doesn't matter who you give it to, you're pissing off virtually everyone else. And as one very sage Indian friend of mine once pointed out, if they did ever give the Koh-i-Noor diamond back, it would almost be a distraction. Because you know full well that the British public and the British media would expect fawning, grovelling thanks from the Indian people and government for this very basic piece of justice. Thus completely undermining any claim that the Indian people had to reparation for the trillions, I repeat, trillions of pounds of wealth that were extracted from India over centuries. The reason that there are lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of poor people in India is because Britain stole everything. So, in many respects, and my Indian friend put it this way, keep your fucking diamond. I'm not going to get the diamond anyway. But if you could, do financial restoration to get rid of slums in India, that would be better. An interesting thought, if nothing else.
Can you call King Charles a slacker, Curtis?
Well, he's never had a job, so that is kind of slacking, yeah.
I wanted to point something out to you. King Charles is 77. I believe you're a very robust 72, so he's 5 years older than you. He was diagnosed with cancer in February 2024, and
he's still alive somehow. There you go. Oh, by the way, did you see our old friend Rudolph Giuliani Esquire in hospital? Looks like he might be on his way out. I hear a certain crab costume calling me. Soon, my friend. Very soon.
still having regular treatment for this cancer. And yet in 2025, he conducted 390 solo engagements and 488 solo and joint engagements.
Right, but when you say engagements, you make it sound like that's hard work. What he does is he opens a hospital, or he shakes some hands at like a gathering, or he meets some Duke of Edinburgh Award recipients and goes, where are you from? Middlesbrough. Oh, fascinating. And then moves on to the next person. He's not doing work. He does chit-chat. At best, he has to do some small talk with a paw. That's it. Like, he's not doing 390 heart bypasses a year. That, cool. That would be a proper job. He's not building 390 houses a year. Well, neither is Britain in total, unfortunately, but it's a different matter entirely. He just opens like a community centre in Norwich, and then like meets with the local mayor, and then gets back in his chauffeur-driven car to go to the fucking back to the one of his many palaces. This is bootlicking fawnery. Look, you're embarrassing, Morgan. You're really fucking embarrassing.
Slacker? Really? My king? A slacker? He's
Yes.
the hardest working cancer patient in the world.
Go on, Kurt. Based pole. Look at him. He cracks out the fucking tiny violin.
He's the hardest working cancer patient in the world.
Go on, lad.
Let me get the small violin out.
That's a round of applause. Oh. Curtis Sliwa, you mad old cunt. Fuck. You mad cunt, I love it.
Stage 4 prostate cancer. I was shot 5 times with hollow point bullets on the orders of the Gaudis to the Gambinos. I'm out there every day. The difference is when your king and your queen came to lay the flowers at the memorial at 9/11, which was good, not only for all the Americans lost, 3,000, but the 69 Brits. Just a block away is the memorial.
Don't say nice, Kev. Don't say nice. Don't say nice. No. It's just a number. Don't say it.
To the Irish famine, where your royalty was responsible for the killing of 1 million Irish. Up the rebels, Easter Rising. Your Queen Victoria did this, and your royalty never apologized for the death.
Jesus fucking Christ. Oh, Curtis Lewer, I love you so much. I mean, you're a mad cunt and I hate you, but like, you really are.
You really are the most devious bastard in New York City.
Because you're a fucking in the Republican Party, and yet you're also like, does he think of the Republicans and he's like, oh, the Irish Republican Army, that means it's like me. Is that what? Has he misunderstood what the politics of this organisation are? I don't know. But we're having it again. Because he's spitting facts. Pure facts.
Irish. Up the rebels, Easter Rising, John Connolly. Your Queen Victoria did this, and your royalty never apologized for the death of 1 million Irish. You have a lot. Your royalty has a lot to apologize for.
True. So fucking true. Based and beret-pilled.
Your leaders have a blameless record going back 250 years, Curtis, or should I start slinging my arrows back your way for some of the transgressions of the past?
No, you can't. You can. Because I don't believe in idolatry. I question authority. I am a Republican who constantly questions the authority of Donald Trump. You see, here in America, we have total free speech, and the answer to hate speech is more free speech. But in England, you don't have complete free speech, and you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I mean, it would be illegal for me to say that I, Kevin Logan, support Palestine action, if indeed that were true, because I would never say it, though. I would never say it because it would be terrorism. So, you know, don't do it. You'll go to jail. Free speech.
About Pierce.
Well, we have issues with free speech, particularly on social media, which I'm very concerned about. I agree with you. You know, we've had
What do you mean on social media? It's about the government, you prick.
Had some ridiculous cases where people have cracked jokes, inappropriate, tasteless jokes on social media, and then get arrested by 5 armed policemen at Heathrow Airport and charged with crimes. It's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, firstly, they weren't charged. I think he's talking about fucking Glinner, isn't he? And they weren't charged with anything, were they? I don't think they were charged with it. Didn't they just question him and then let him go? Honestly, I think the loss of his cheese grater was worse, in all honesty. Well, that and his family, whatever.
Can I reach my hands across the pond? You keep the king and the queen there. We'll keep Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse here because that's your Disney World.
True. 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 Look at that cheeky little grin. Oh, what a scamp. Honestly, he's one of the silliest gooses. Geese? He's one of the silly geese. Undoubtedly. Fuck yeah, man. Oh, love it. Anyway, what I also love is Birmingham, but in a very different way.
It's a bit of a poison chalice whoever gets to rule Birmingham.
I was threatened to be beaten up outside of a mosque after Friday prayer.
200,000 migrants in every year.
That doesn't sit well with local people.
So what's your politics?
We're revolutionaries.
Our age, wrote Robert Vaughan in 1843, is preeminently an age of great cities. And it's pretty fair to say that the 19th century was the high watermark of the city in British public life. Bold architecture, optimism, a sense that the future would be better than yesterday, public infrastructure. Cities were beautiful and often central to how people did politics. That was nowhere more the case than here in Birmingham. In the 1830s, you had Thomas Atwood and the Birmingham political unions was a hotbed of radicalism, somewhere where people thought actually democracy might work. Later on in the 1870s and the 1880s,
you can almost see the famous fingering spot. Almost. It's just around the corner.
It was widely considered to be the best governed city.
Literally, if you walk up this road here, past the building on the left, and then about 100 yards to your left is said spot. Part of Channel Law.
On Earth. However, it's 2026. And if somebody said to you today that Birmingham's the best governed city on Earth, I would suggest they need a breathalyzer test.
Yep.
It certainly shouldn't be anywhere near a car. Now you can walk around central Birmingham today. You can see the very modern looking office blocks. You can see the heritage architecture.
Whoa,
you can see the paved streets.
Whoa.
Now you can walk around central Birmingham today. You can see the very modern looking office block.
Boom! Right. If the very right of that, there's a little alleyway next to this building on the right here that goes to the flyover. Now, this red building wasn't there prior. Okay, that's a new building that was built like within the last 15 years. So take that away, and there was a flyover bit there that now goes underneath this building. So there's a little alleyway between the white building that you can just see and the red building. That's if you go about 20 yards down that alleyway, that was the infamous fingering spot. Finger Alley, as I call it, yes. Just to give you a real feel for the place. The Birmingham, not my ex-girlfriend's pussy.
Blocks. You can see the heritage architecture. You can see the paved streets. No tarmac here. Very good. Well done. You see all of that in the round, and you might think, well, Birmingham's pretty well run. It's a pretty prosperous place. But it certainly has managed well in recent years. In terms of its public finances, actually, it hit rock bottom. It was only brought out of Section 114 at the start of 2026. That basically meant it was not moving towards insolvency.
Yeah, back when I used to finger the living. Sorry. Lovely memes. Love it. True. Fuck yeah. Slapping fannies and killing grannies. What the fuck is it, Clem Fandango? What? I was not alive in the 1830s, fuck off. Kev, I can't find Rusty. Oh, salutes in chat for Rusty. Wherever could she be? Honestly, it disappeared into a black hole, clearly. A red hand point. I presume that's to do with fingering, I imagine. Thank you, Antifa Vegan Boy. Who is Rusty? That's 255's dog. Although apparently they've now disappeared, so it could be anyone. The question isn't who is Rusty, but where is Rusty? Who knows? It's a mystery as old as time itself.
And that was the result of selling off hundreds of millions of pounds of assets to basically balance the books. Selling those assets, but also laying off lots of staff and also engaging in some pretty brutal attempts at reducing their wages, most memorably, of course, with the...
Not the councillors' wages, of course, though, because during the bin strike they voted to raise their own incomes by 5%. As you do.
Birmingham bin strike.
They are threatening to take 25% of my wage. We already agreed to a £1,200 loss, and now the council have taken £6,200 off me. So I've lost near enough £8,000. And I'm a father of 5.
Incidentally, just weeks before elections here in Birmingham, the council has resolved those issues. Presumably that's the result of a political judgment by Labour HQ number 10. There are local elections this week across much of England, as well as elections in the Senedd and for Holyrood, and that includes Birmingham City Council. The City Council itself is the largest local authority in Europe, has 101 councillors, 49 of which are Labour. That means, of course, it's in no...
Not for much longer, bitches!
...overall control, although it's pretty close. Right now, according to YouGov, there are 6 parties polling between 12% and 21%.
That's what I said earlier. There's no two-party anything anymore. Look at the Tories down on 13%, man. Oh, you're dead, lads. The Tories are fucking dead.
Form.
Oh, can we get some RIPs in chat? And some 707s for the Tory party.
Labour, Tories, Lib Dems, Greens, and of course, Independents too. We have a quite unique political situation here in Birmingham.
Well, you say, where are the Godzilla rats? That's why he's only pointing the camera upwards, rather than to the massive dog-sized rats that are nibbling at his feet as we speak. It's the only answer.
Could see the party that comes first by vote share getting a little more than 1/5 of the vote. Quite extraordinary when you think about it. What that means is that we are right now in arguably Britain's most ungovernable city. We've got one day to ascertain what the hell is going on in Birmingham.
Everything and nothing. It's a bit of a microcosm of the country, really. Economically stagnant. Socially frustrated. Looking for any answers other than the Tories and Labour. The death of the two-party system. Encapsulated in a single city.
Hello, sir. You don't feel like what, voting or talking to us? Or neither?
Neither. To keep reform out is my...
Keep reform out?
Yes, yeah.
And if reform controlled the council here, what do you feel they might do? What concerns you?
They spend so much time on bloody
This is...
flags. And
on flags and that, yeah. Just over to the right here is also the cinema where I went to see White Chicks. Again, another piece of lore from the stream. There was the old Odeon cinema.
And producing division, that seems to be more important to them. I don't have any faith in Farage and people like that. I think there's only one person he looks after, and it's Farage.
Conservative.
You go vote for the Tories?
Yeah.
How come?
Oh wow, they found the one Tory left. Okay.
Wow. I just admire what they stand for: independence, financial prudence, looking after.
What the fuck? Financial prudence? Do you not remember Liz Truss, you dopey old bitch? This is the kind of boomer scum that we have to fucking deal with in this country. Oh. Fucking crikey.
After yourself, not being dependent on everybody else. Yep, values that used to be quite in fashion back in the 80s and 90s, but sadly aren't now.
May I ask who you're planning to vote for in the local elections in May?
Green Party, most likely.
The Green Party?
I'm not worried about reform, I'm more worried about the Greens. So, yeah.
Well, why is that?
I don't like what they stand for.
Go on.
Legalising drug use, open borders.
Which they don't believe in, but okay.
Being financially illiterate.
Liz Truss. Just doesn't exist to this woman, does she?
They've just got ridiculous policies, but nobody seems to be looking at them.
How do you think Starmer's done as PM?
Oh yeah, there's been absolutely no criticism in the media of the Green Party. Fuck off.
Because I presume you didn't vote Labour in the last election.
No.
But has he underwhelmed you? Has he surprised you?
He's a disaster, isn't he? This is what you get when you give a lawyer a politician's job.
Can I ask who you're planning to vote for in the local election?
The fuck are you talking about? We've had loads of lawyers who've become Prime Minister. What?
Whoever puts the pensions up. You're from Australia, but you sound like a Brummie.
I am a Brummie. I lived here for 53 years, but I've lived there for 16 years.
You've still got it, haven't you?
I've still got it. I won't lose it.
Has it changed Birmingham since you've left?
Oh, tremendously. I think it's changed partly for the better, but my overall opinion of the city from when I left is that it's not the same.
Is it more divided than it was, do you think, 10, 15 years ago?
Definitely.
100%, yeah. I will say that. Definitely.
I'm going to be honest now, and I say I think the white people are the minority now.
Okay, that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. I meant sort of politically and socially. He's like, yeah, oh, there's loads of browns. Have you seen all them Asians? There's fucking Asians everywhere, aren't there? Fuck's sake. Honestly, white people annoy me. They really do.
From when we were here. But, you know, that's the world's ever changing. You know, I'm a migrant in Australia. And, you know, we've been...
Yeah, but white people aren't migrants. They're expats. That's different and perfectly fine, actually.
100,000 migrants in every year. That's just the way the world revolves. Whether Britain can afford it, I would like to say.
As long as Labour don't.
The boomers, they fucking hate Labour.
I am inclined to...
To be fair, the young people and the medium people don't fucking like them either. They're going to get wiped out.
Go independent.
Independent?
Yeah.
So why you stepped away from the mainstream parties?
Loss of trust, yeah, and things like the international things that they do, you know, on the international scene that I don't agree with. So,
is Birmingham a divided city? Because if you look at the polling, there's 6 parties between 20 and 12%. What does it feel like?
It doesn't feel divided. No, there'll always be people out there who'll try and divide, but for the most part, no, I disagree.
That's an interesting perspective. I wouldn't have thought someone, let's be honest, a brown person, right? I wouldn't have. I don't know that they're Muslim, but I presume he was referring to Palestine and Iran. I wouldn't have expected someone from that background to think that Birmingham wasn't divided. It's not actually an opinion I agree with, frankly, but I like hearing that different perspective. I wonder what part of the city he's from. I don't know, but that's a fascinating insight.
If you see something that doesn't look right, speak to staff or text the British Transport Police on 61016.
There's constant talking.
We'll sort it. See it, say it, sort it.
Just constant fucking talking. Okay, try again. Right.
Oh, sorry, the public service announcement was interrupting your fucking media bit, you cunt. It's a fucking train. Well, you expected absolute fucking silence on the train. You should have had to deal with the thing I once had coming out of New Street Station. Was when we passed through Leicester on the way to Cambridge, fucking a load of Munster fans, Munster being the Irish rugby union team, singing "What's that coming over the hill? It's Munster, it's Munster" for 2 fucking hours, very drunk and loud, as I was trying to write a fucking essay on the fucking architecture of King's Cross St Pancras Station. So, you know, the odd public service announcement, Bastani, deal with it, you cunt. Apologies.
So we're
If
now.
you see something that doesn't look right, speak to staff or text the British Transport Police on 61016. We'll sort it.
I didn't scan
Say
back.
it, sorted.
The British Transport Police don't exist. No, they don't exist. We've replaced the BTP with like infinity automated like voice notes. Right, we're leaving behind central Birmingham. If this was the BBC, we would have been parachuted into the city centre. We would have done a Vox Pops at the Bullring, at the station, and we would have left again. And we would have said, this is what Brummies think. But at Navarra Media, that's not how we roll.
So instead you go to... It's Bog Island! No, I was not expecting a Bog Island segment. Right, so this is Moseley. A really interesting and quite diverse area. Literally, Aaron Bastani was but 3 to 4 miles from my location when he filmed this. Anyway, yeah. So, anyway, Bog Island is literally the piece of land that you can see just beyond these railings. It's called Bog Island. Bog being the euphemism. Euphemism? No. Simile? Metaphor? Whatever. Anyway, the other word, the synonym was the word I was looking for. The synonym for toilet. A bog is a toilet. And there used to be... no, that's not Moseley Open Gardens. That's an advertisement for Moseley Open Gardens, which is down the road. No. Moseley is... there used to be a public toilet on this... There's a weird... Hang on, I'll show you the map of it. It's a weird little triangular piece of land right in the middle of the little village. Moseley map. Yeah, go to the fucking map. Jesus. Right. So there's the cemetery, St Mary's Road. Here we go. Boom. There. So this is Bog Island, the triangle there. Right. So the number 50 bus route comes along here, along St Mary's Road, going right to left from roughly where I grew up to the city centre. And then this triangle of land here is called Bog Island because it used to have a public toilet on it. So it's known as Bog Island. There. It's also where Joe Lysitte's from, Moseley. And where J.R.R. Tolkien lived.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Wow, this looks amazing. Blimey. So you think Birmingham's too close to call?
Overall, yeah, I think so.
That's Salma Yaqub, who's the former Respect Party and various other things, independent councillor.
If the vote is split in the way that it looks like it's going to be, it is a difficult call to make.
You're saying it's a bit of a mess. These 6 parties polling between 12 and 21%. Nobody really knows what's going to happen. Let's say there's no overall control. It is a mess. Reform and the Greens underperform or overperform. Labour underperform. Independents do quite well. Just a complete chaos. What happens after that?
That's the irony, right? Because some of these people will be forced to work with each other, and that.
Solid memes going on in chat. Solid memes. Rather amusingly, someone has added the Marxist Ratist Party. As a Leicester lad, I'm quite jealous of Birmingham. You needn't be. Leicester's a perfectly lovely place in of itself.
That'd be interesting to see. But what's even more interesting is that actually the National Commissioners are in charge in the council here. So since the bankruptcy, so there's very little room for them to manoeuvre anyway. They've already signed off the plans and the spending.
Also, you should be really proud of Leicester because they voted John Ashworth out. I mean, technically they voted him in as well, but, you know, they've then voted him out, so that's cool.
And so it's a bit of a poison chalice whoever gets to rule Birmingham. And the level of incompetence, it's shocking to even say, right? But £500 million over was put into the West Midlands Pension Fund, right? That was totally unnecessary. So actually this city was not bankrupt and didn't need to be declared bankrupt. We didn't need to cut the services that we have. We didn't need to have the bin strike that's been going on for over a year here and only has just now apparently been resolved. And it was the incompetence of the local leadership. And
yeah, they really fucked it up locally. And then the perfect storm of the national government getting in and being dog shit as well. Like, Labour are going to get really fucking hurt in this city, and they will have deserved every single loss.
refuse to even acknowledge it. So there are solutions.
And that's without even getting into the fucking computer system that was supposed to cost tuppence halfpenny and has cost fucking hundreds of millions of pounds.
You can get that £500 million, which is not insignificant, to turn things around. But the freedom to be able to do that and to use that money apparently isn't there now because of the way they've set the rules up.
Everybody knows. But
are they only going to go to the sort of bougie places? Because Moseley, like I said, is a really interesting place. There are some very rich people there. There's some quite poor people there. There are lots of different ethnicities and all sorts of things going on. And so far they've gone to like a middle-class cafe and now this weird little coffee shop place.
Birmingham is one of the biggest councils in Europe. Labour have had a stronghold over that council for a very, very long time. But in that time, what have they actually done? What merit do they...
Did he actually go to Alum Rock or did she go to Moseley? Because Alum Rock's like the opposite end of the city completely. The very north of the city, and Moseley's in the very south. Well, not very south, but in the south of the city.
I mean, they're running their entire campaign in Birmingham off vote for us or reform is going to get in. It's all scaremongering. And that is because there is absolutely nothing to show for their time. You have the equal pay claim, which bankrupted the council. We have the failed athletes village. We have the Oracle system, which ended up costing a phenomenal amount of money.
Yeah, that's it, the Oracle system. It's this fucking IT system that they were trying to implement. And it was like, they said it was going to cost like fucking 10 million and it cost 200 million or something. Like, honestly, they should have been fucking fired. In any other industry, you'd be sacked.
And all of these things add up, and people see that. People see that our tax money is going onto their vanity projects, which are bringing no benefit to anyone. For me, a budget sheet is a moral statement of what the council thinks is important, right? The first thing that they cut when they declared bankruptcy was youth services. That doesn't sit well with local people. How are you going to cut £2.3 million from youth services from one of the youngest cities, from areas where there are, Alum Rock's top 10% in the deprivation index UK-wide, and you're going to remove the last remaining...
Yeah, but it's the Labour Party. They don't give a fuck about young people. You joking? They've lost their vote.
Youth centre.
They're literally calling to not even give the votes to 16 and 17-year-olds anymore because they're going to lose that vote.
And then still expect people to vote for you.
Which, by the way, reveals that they weren't doing it because they supported democracy, but because they thought they could win those people's votes. And now they can't. They're calling for it not to happen. Interesting.
So why are people fighting so hard for what you just described as a poison chalice? There are canvassers and activists and candidates who are going tooth and nail across the city, 3, 4, 5-way competitions in certain wards.
Which is ironic because there's actually an area called Five Ways. Anyway.
Why?
Almost half the Birmingham kids live in poverty. They're either not eating enough or some of them don't even have beds to sleep in. So these are real issues. They're not some kind of intellectual, hypothetical arguments. Of course, the easiest thing is to be so disillusioned and feel so powerless that you just let it continue to slide. But that's happened for so long, and we've had the results that we've got. So in a way, I see it as that there is a hope for some kind of change. It's almost like any change.
Well, it is, and the thing is that people are fighting really hard for it because it's a chance to completely take, not just control in terms of the council, but like to politically take a massive chunk of the biggest council and one of the biggest cities in the country, right? And so the people of Birmingham don't expect the world. We're not expecting any new council to come in and revolutionise the thing, but just do the basic shit right. We realise that we're in economically a bad situation here in Birmingham. The council are in a lot of financial trouble still. There are going to be challenges ahead. But any party, or even group of parties, any coalition, whatever happens after this election, and there probably will have to be inevitably some sort of coalition found, I would think. If they can just get this shit together for the city, just make it a reasonably well-run thing where services are just provided, would go a very long way to securing the political support and political base in this city. Because the Labour Party have eviscerated that. They had Birmingham as a base, politically speaking, for decades, and they've incinerated that support. And so there's a political vacuum to be filled. And whoever can fill that has potentially a similar chokehold, if you will, metaphorical chokehold. It sounds horrible, but you know what I mean. A political base of support in a very large city, the second largest city in the country, lest we forget. And so for someone like the Green Party or the Reform Party, who are both going to be probably the number 1 and 2 individual parties on the council after this, that's a massive opportunity for a new political party to gain a significant foothold in a big city. That would have been unthinkable even 10 years ago, I think. The Labour Party, even during its really bad times during the 80s or during the 50s, held a massive sway of support in Birmingham. It was almost untouchable. But no longer. And so there's a genuine opportunity for a party to establish itself as the new dominant party of Birmingham. So in addition to wanting to do good for the people of the city, you could do a lot of good for your own party. To win this election and just govern competently. That's all we want. We don't want the world. Just govern competently, for fuck's sake. Act like you give a fuck.
At this stage, but I really hope that we see genuinely progressive candidates win, and that in that council house we have those voices loud and we keep a sense of clarity and mission, because that's what this city needs.
You would be characterised by the media as somebody, because you left in 2023 as a Gaza independent.
Yeah.
And actually, I think people watching this might be surprised how on top of domestic policy issues you are. Do you think that the way the media has covered independents on the left who come from Muslim communities, not just from Muslim communities, but who tend to come from Muslim communities, do you think there's a racialised lens with that? And actually,
100%.
100%.
100%. Look, would we be getting called Gaza independents if we were not brown Muslims? No, we wouldn't. You know, as I've just demonstrated, I know about local issues because I've been embedded in the community for a long time, and I've worked at a grassroots level with local people in the community. I'm standing for local issues. I'm not standing on national issues. Do I deny that national and international issues?
That's why it's so fascinating seeing Reform go like, oh, migrant camps and blah, 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 blah. And literally they're saying, vote to get rid of Keir Starmer. That's not on the ballot paper. You're voting in local elections. And again, the Gaza independents, as they're being referred to, aren't running on a vote for me because Gaza, or even vote for me because of Iran or anything like that. They're voting for, they're saying like, we'll get your fucking bins emptied and we'll keep your library open, that sort of thing. But by and large, people are not voting because of Gaza. The media really want to push this narrative. You saw it after Gorton and Denton, right? You saw it after the Manchester by-election. That they're like, oh, the Muslims are doing ethnic fucking sectarian voting on the basis of Gaza. They're just voting for Gaza, blah, blah. No, they're not. They voted for Hannah Spencer because the Green Party offered a fucking progressive alternative. Something better. Some fucking hope. They made hope normal again. And that's fucking based and awesome. Honestly, I love it. The fact that they also agree with people on fucking Gaza is like a bonus. Like, they wouldn't have been voting for them had the Green Party had every single policy but also supported Israel, they probably wouldn't have voted for them. Like, that is a deal breaker for a lot of people, but it's a deal breaker for me too. But I wouldn't be called a Gaza sectarian because I'm a whiteoid. So it's just fucking racist bullshit from the media to try and explain why people don't want to toe the party line. They don't want to vote for the Tories or the Tories or the Labour Party. So the Uni Party Westminster consensus has been broken, and the fucking media can't take it. They're losing their fucking minds because their thought opinion, their thought leadership has led the country by the fucking nose for decades, and people are sick of it. It's led to nothing but rack and ruin.
Have a trickle-down effect? Not at all. They 100% have a trickle-down effect, and they do impact local people's lives because we live in this world, and everything that happens has an impact on us on a day-to-day basis. But are we Gaza ticket independent? No, we're not.
So whenever there's large numbers of Muslims in a constituency, we hear this word, biradari politics. What is that?
Biradari just means clan. It's like your wider family. And just by the nature of migration, there's lots of South Asian Muslims, so large families from areas like Mirpur, Kashmir, came over after the Second World War. And within family, there's certain types of loyalty, but especially when somebody's helped you out, and you know, when people came to this country, somebody might have helped with rent, somebody might have helped you to get a job. People then feel they owe each other. So what the Labour Party did pretty early on was co-opt some of those key people, the linchpins in those family networks, and made so they felt a loyalty to the party and to those individuals who could then harvest the vote and say, well, you know, my recommendation is, you could call it an influencer now, my recommendation is that, you know, you vote this way.
If we talk about biradari politics, and you said all that stuff, normally on television it would be somebody who's on the right, on GB News. What you're saying is there's some truth to this.
Yeah, I campaigned against it when I stood as councillor here, and we had court cases where it was very clear that people's votes were just taken, and especially women and young people didn't get a say. And it was the Labour Party.
Yeah, there was a scandal, wasn't there? There was a Bengal Freedom Party, whatever the fuck they were called. And it was like, they said it was like a Banana Republic situation. This was about 20 years ago, I think, wasn't it? So there's no doubt that this sort of thing has happened in the past. But the idea of there being family voting in quite the same way as Nigel Farage and his ilk claimed in Manchester is just not true.
They actually pushed back against restrictions because they were the party that benefiting the most from it. But I think it's helped a complacent culture, just like Labour taking white working class voters for granted.
Are there Labour MPs in the West Midlands today who are MPs broadly because of that system of patronage?
I don't think it's accidental that Shabana Mahmood got selected, given her father was chair of the local party, and I've no doubt they would have had lots of membership that he would have been there because of the relationships over many years. So I'm not saying it's the only reason, but it would be naive to think that that didn't play a part.
Despite the verdant settings, we are very much still in Birmingham. We're very much in Ahmed Yaqub country.
We are going to put up candidates in every ward in Birmingham. We are going to launch independent candidate alliance, and all of the candidates will be under that umbrella.
Are you standing in the same party as Ahmed Yaqub?
In short, no. I'm completely independent. He has the ICA. I've been endorsed by him. I've also been endorsed by your party, but we're not on the same platform.
By my party? What? I haven't got a party. Well, I am in the Green Party, but not my party. Is it your party? Whose party? House party. Ain't no party like my Nana's tea party. Hey, oh.
Not at all.
Nosheen, who we spoke to a moment ago, is standing in a ward where he won big time.
Yeah, no one, like, it's not being reported so much by the media, but yeah, Starmer getting his niece a safe seat. Although Labour don't really have safe seats, even in London, but like, he's such a chummy cunt, honest to God.
The last general election, he came second to Shabana Mahmood. Yes, she won by, I think 3,000 votes, but he cut that majority down from the tens of thousands. And remember, this is a person who is now Labour's Home Secretary. Now,
and the most draconian Home Secretary since the Tory one. Yeah.
with people like Ahmed Yaqub, they're controversial. That's beyond any doubt.
What? The construction of the bull ring broke my leg. What the hell are you talking about? Did you work on the bull ring? And it fractured your leg? I don't know. Anyway, I don't know.
Down.
Last year, Yaqub apologised for joking about domestic violence on a podcast where he said 70% of hell will be women.
But the publicity,
Yeah, Yaqub's a prick, but he's going to be an MP. He's going to take Shabana Mahmood's seat.
popularity, his political success can't really be detached from that controversy. He's very, very, very good at getting people's attention.
So if you do have a baseball bat, for example, for a sporting event, then make sure it is clear and you have other equipment with it as well. Always remember, there's a defense for every offense.
One could say that Ahmed Yaqub is like a celebrity in these parts, but there's no like about it. He is a celebrity.
Yeah.
However, he's not doing this alone. He's part of a wider project. And we're off to meet both him and his right-hand man, Shakil Afzal.
What the party and the Green Party stands for, our people of Birmingham, whether they're Christian, Jews or Muslims, will not stand with you.
Martin came, Martin probably went into mosques. Zach never came because some people must have seen my videos and know that what he did in London, dancing around with naked men in broad daylight, with children watching, will not sit right with the...
Oh, you're just a homophobe. Yeah, I know.
The voters in Birmingham.
They're very much a political partnership. And
By the way, Birmingham is a very friendly LGBT city. So, I mean, they're just wrong.
Yes, politically, they're going to fail or win together. The truth is, we could not come to Birmingham and try and make sense of what is clearly a political system in disintegration without speaking to both of these men.
Everyone on social media, especially the far-right media, were calling me the Gaza lawyer, the TikTok Gaza lawyer. They kept doing it through my elections, both my elections. So I decided after a couple of months to buy this number plate, and I found a beautiful number plate.
Jesus Christ. What an absolute maltoid, really. Oh, I did a piggy snort, you cunt. Fuck's sake.
Gaza law. It's the closest we can get to Gaza lawyer, so there you go. Remember that.
In 2 weeks' time, you could be very powerful people politically in this city. Where do you think it's going to land on May 7th, May 8th, in terms of the results?
In terms of the results on May 7th, for me and Shakil, it's insignificant because what we set out to do, our goal was to get people who have been historically docile from politics, who don't know much about politics, get them involved. And here's a young man, Rehan Abbas, 22-year-old lawyer, who's a candidate for Spark Brook, who's just walked in. Now, if he was with a political party, it would have took him years to get into this position, to get to a position where he's contesting for the local elections.
Don't get me wrong, I want young people to be involved in politics. I genuinely do. But I don't think you can just say, because he's young and is a candidate, that's in of itself a good thing. It might be that he is qualified and experienced enough, but at 22, that's pretty young. That is pretty young. So I don't want to write off an individual and say, he's 22, he's not fucking qualified. But generally speaking, I wouldn't want, like, just 22-year-olds. Like, you want someone with some lived experience. The reason that, like, this system exists isn't just to, like, control radicals and blah, blah, blah. It's that you gain experience in how politics operates. And you work at this level, and then if you're successful, you can work at the next level and so on, and eventually you become a candidate. Because you've shown that you can work within that political structure or whatever, you know? Yeah, and a 22-year-old lawyer is unusual as well, yeah. Interesting.
You're very much reflecting, representing the interests of your community.
I mean, most people say it's just democratic, right? And clearly the legacy parties aren't democratic enough. What are you against? Maybe that's a clearer way of understanding, like, the red lines.
One policy we are against that.
Yeah, exactly. Look at the fucking zygote they've got running Warwickshire Council. Fucking embarrassing what a fucking shithole that's turned into. God almighty. Again, I don't wish to discourage young people from being involved in politics, because I genuinely do want younger people involved. And if you're good enough, it doesn't matter what age you are, as far as I'm concerned. But and I certainly don't want the fucking gerontocracy they've got in America. Fuck me. Oh my word.
Labour have implemented in the last sort of decade, 2 decades or so, is that policy of nepotism politics in the inner city areas of Birmingham and Midlands, where the father will be a councillor, he'll pass it down to his son, or the son will, the brother will pass it down to a brother, and it's been happening in front of our eyes for decades, and that's what the ICA are specifically, categorically against, nepotism, and in our culture we call it biradari politics. We're against that.
So hold on, you're saying that you're a rebellion, you're a rejection against biradari politics?
Yeah, definitely.
We're breaking biradari politics.
We're breaking biradari politics.
London commentators, Sky News, GB News, BBC, they would say, no, hold on, you've completely shaken up my worldview, because this is people who are Kashmiri, independents. I just thought this was sectarian biradari politics, and you said the complete opposite.
Because that is exactly what has been blighting our communities, where certain families or certain biradaris have had control, because the Labour Party has kept our communities docile in politics. Indigenously, we all used to vote Labour. My grandfather used to go, he couldn't speak a word of English, and he'd vote for Labour, and I'll ask him, where are you going? He goes, I'm going to vote. I go, how do you, and one time I asked him, I go, how do you know which one to vote for? He goes, I look for the rose. So our people indigenously did blindly follow Labour, and you know, one of the MPs that I spoke to, at the time when he got suspended, Raja Gadzif, and he wanted to stand as an independent in 2019. I went over to his house and I said, okay, Raja, what do we do now? Because I don't know how to campaign, because I've never campaigned. What do we do? He goes, I've never ran a campaign. I looked at him and I said, what? I go, you've been the MP for this area for nearly 28 years. He goes, yeah, no, Shaquille, because Central London, Labour, send the leaflets. I then pass them on to the members, and I get voted every time. Because, and I quote his words, you can put a donkey up for election and slap a Labour ticket and these communities will vote. Now you can't do that.
But what's the goal? Do you want to have, you know, council majority? Do you want the mayor? Do you want to have 5 or 6 MPs? Is that ultimately the end game?
That's ultimately the end game, absolutely. And you know, a lot of people are saying, oh, what are you going to do with 6 independent councillors, and which you won't have no majority, you won't be able to control. We know this because we're only starting our journey out, and we have to start with something. And if that means having 5, 6 candidates in council who can't probably make immediate change, but they can be those vocal people who challenge the status quo. And there will be other alliances that we could potentially make as well. We were asked a question.
Yeah, John, that's definitely true. People involved in biradari politics generally do tend... And Aaron Bastani is not technically white, I suppose, but he's like pretty white-coded, and he's like a London-based journalist. And so generally people who are involved in that say, no, we're against that, we're the opposition of that, we're, you know, blah, blah, blah. And this just seems like a kind of version of that to a degree, I think. There certainly is an element of sectarianism going on in this particular example, I think. Oh yeah, no, GB News will clip the fuck out of this. Yeah, absolutely. But they always do. There's nothing a brown person could say that they wouldn't clip up and make it look like, see, the Muslimics hate us, blah, blah, blah. You know, that's their entire shtick.
A few days ago, who would we work with if we, you know, had 10 councillors? And our answer is we would work with anybody.
Just had a very interesting... Well, including the Green Party and all of their gayists. Oh no. Experience. You know, that's how they get you, the gays. Firstly, you're in a council meeting about appropriations, and then all of a sudden you're sucking dick in the alleyway. It's crazy. That is how it works, I'm telling you.
I was outside the masjid on Dudley Road after a Jumu'ah prayer, and I was accosted, essentially, while leafleting, by the vile, bigoted independents.
I was threatened to be beaten up outside of a mosque after Friday prayer as I was leafleting. And their main thing that they said, the thing they constantly said, "You're the gay party, you support LGBT." Amir Khan directly said to me, "You guys support LGBT."
So this is the Green.
That's
Light.
disgusting.
What place was it? Oh, in North Edgbaston. Okay.
"You're the gay party, you support LGBT." Amir Khan directly said to me, "You guys support LGBT." That's disgusting. Their leaflets having AI-generated images, and it says, "Thinking of voting Green? Think again." The first things are about LGBT stuff. They can threaten me. They can say they're going to beat me up. But I will fight for their minority rights the same way I'll fight for LGBTQ minority rights, because I've seen and learned through
Good lad. I'd like to meet him. He
reading
seems
history
nice.
and through understanding that the moment you let a government pick and choose, or any group of people pick and choose that one group is suddenly not safe for society and they can be scapegoated, no other minority group is safe.
Or dare I say it, if one particular group is haram. You know?
Same-sex relationship stuff with RSE. There's one reading on that, which is that you want to politically differentiate yourselves from the Greens. It doesn't mean you don't believe in what you're saying, but you're emphasising that because it's clear water between you and the Greens, and maybe they're treading on your toes a bit with the voters that you want to win. Is there truth to that?
Yeah, well, look, the independent movement here was built on truth, and the fact that the Green Party are not understanding that by them putting up candidates where there's independent candidates, they are obviously stepping on our toes, and we are.
Right, but you're homophobic scum, so like they don't like why should we stand aside for you? You know?
Only saying the things that our community wants us to say.
The independents are populists with no policy. Here in North Edgbaston, it's Labour that are the incumbents, but they're talking to the Greens. Why? Because they're threatened by us, because they don't have any vision. Here, we want warmer homes, safer streets, and better communities.
I also want to pet that dog behind him, but that's not really a policy for the council.
What's your politics? Because lots of things you guys say, I would say left populism, but then you're saying things that are more socially conservative. So tell me, what is your politics? Because people will say...
what was that video that we seen that day?
So I think we would class ourselves as centre politicians.
Centre politicians.
So you're centrists.
So how the fuck are the Greens snapping on your toes then, you pricks?
What upset the London media because they say Ahmed Yaqub can't be a centrist.
Why?
Because centrist is Tony Blair, it's David Cameron, it's white.
Not those type of
After
I have to say, Aaron, I don't think you're being very fair either to the people of Birmingham or indeed to your viewers. I don't know why I'm talking to him directly. He doesn't fucking watch my channel. That's fine. I don't think he's being very fair to his viewers or to the people of Birmingham, and specifically to the Muslims of Birmingham, because your only analysis of this are these two crazy homophobic Muslims, it would appear. Like, well, you did talk to Salma Yaqub, but she has some reaction reviews as well, actually. And most Muslims I've ever known have been super fucking chill about that. They might not necessarily be like, I don't know, super friendly or whatever with lots of gay people. They don't necessarily know many of them, but they're like live and let live, you know? And I'm fine with that. I don't give a fuck what you think inside your head particularly. It's how you act towards other people. It's what policies you vote for and that sort of thing. And I don't think it's fair for you to be like somewhat whitewashing the independent coalition, because they're not just centrists, and this doesn't just shake up the London media, blah blah blah, which I know is Navarra Media's thing, right? You're the opposition of the more mainstream press and all the rest of it, so you've got to hype up that angle of it, and that's fine, right? I get that from a company point of view or whatever, but I don't think it's fair to your viewers to, or to the people of Birmingham, for you to sort of whitewash these people, pretending that they are centrists when they're obviously fucking not. They're certainly far right when it comes to things like LGBTQ rights. They're certainly not against the use of violence against political opponents, as previous court cases have shown. I don't really know what their economics are like, but it doesn't really matter to the point. they're not centrists, and you know they're not centrists, so why you're allowing them to play that game and sort of giggling along with it, I don't quite know. Like I say, I think you do an intellectual and journalistic disservice to your viewer by playing that silly game. But you feel they did the same in Merthyr as well, Comrade? Yeah, I mean, I can't speak to that because I don't know the place, but yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Again, it's very London-brained, isn't it? Everything has to be viewed through that London lens, I think. Ahmed Khan has quite a few land and property development projects. So they're right-wing economically as well. Brilliant. Yeah. Yeah, very centrist.
27th, you might need to be in a coalition with some of these people. I would refuse to be with... We've spoken about this within the Green Party. But you wouldn't be in a coalition with Reform, I presume? Absolutely not, of course. And you wouldn't be in a coalition with the Independents? With Ahmed Yacoub's Independents, no. I would not... If a hung... It's looking very likely that Birmingham City is going to have a hung council. Yeah, no overall control. Yeah, no overall control. Ahmed Yacoub's Independents running in North...
It's not going to be the most hung it could be, though, because I'm not going to be on it. It's a big penis joke.
Edgbaston have shown through their campaigning that they don't want to help North Edgbaston. So if they are going to if I'm asked to work with people who are physically threatening me outside of a mosque, that same group of people, right? Of course I'm going to be not timid, but I'm going to be reluctant to immediately go, yeah, I'll work with you guys. Who are your heroes?
Life hero has to be the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He is our role model, politically passed away or currently.
Anytime.
So Ernesto Che Guevara. Ernesto Che Guevara.
What? Like, okay, I don't know how that possibly works. I genuinely don't. But Ernesto Guevara, okay, you've never, as far as I'm aware, espoused any kind of socialist economics. And how the fuck do you think that someone who has Che Guevara could be, as a hero, could possibly describe themselves as a centrist? I mean, you're all over the fucking place. Obviously. Oh, what a fucking... You can't throw that in. How far are we into the fucking video? And you're now dropping a Che Guevara on me, you cunt. The fuck? How are you a centrist? So, you're a far-right fucking anti-trans, anti-queer bigot. And your political hero is a guy who said, was it... If... It was... Oh, well, I can't remember what it is in Spanish. Was it give me... death or victory, wasn't it, I think, in the translation? In other words, you would fight and die. And literally, he did. He fucking did. He went to Bolivia and was fucking killed. Fighting for communism. He led the fucking revolution, which technically wasn't a communist revolution as such. It was a nationalist, and nationalist as in national liberation rather than racist or whatever, campaign that turned into a communist government. And you're a fucking centrist. Get the fuck out, man. Fuck off.
I would have to agree. Look, we're revolutionaries. When we got...
Honestly, I love the idea. I love the idea of someone running for Birmingham City Council going, I'm a revolutionary, mate. I'm standing to be the councillor for Hockley Heath. Fuck off, man. They call me the Small Heath Revolutionary. You're having a laugh. Like, just do one, mate. No one's buying this fucking bollocks.
Got into this, a lot of people say, what do you want from me? And both of us in our own right got into politics, not because we're career politicians, it's because it banged our door.
Here in North Edgbaston, the people want change. They want a vision, and Labour have failed to do that. Labour haven't even really properly campaigned here. They've just now sent out leaflets.
You said they're not probably campaigned. Is that because they haven't got any members anymore?
Probably, yeah. I mean, the Green...
There's definitely, like, during elections in past times, because Birmingham was a very Labour city, it had loads of candidates. Well, it's got a full slate of candidates. I mean, it had loads of campaigners. Right? You would see Labour Party people delivering leaflets, knocking on doors all the time. Everywhere you went, you'd see little groups of people doing stuff. I ain't seen any of that. I ain't seen shit. I don't think I've seen a single Labour Party person out there delivering anything, knocking on a door, giving a speech, attending anything. They don't exist. As a nationwide, actual activist party, the Labour Party does not exist anymore. This city would be, during election time, would be fucking heaving with Labour Party activists, and they're just not there. Because all their people left. Loads of their fucking councillors left, for fuck's sake. They don't have fucking activists anymore. Why the fuck would you go out and waste your weekend off delivering leaflets for fucking Keir Starmer or John Cotton, the council guy? Like, why would you fucking do that? Why would you waste your fucking time? Even if you're still going to hold your nose and vote for them. Even if you're still a member and you're kind of hanging on for dear life, hoping they're going to get better or something, you're not going to fucking waste your time campaigning for cunts. They're not even... Why the fuck would you waste your time walking past the piles of fucking garbage that these cunts have, like, single-handedly led to existing? They can't even fucking get your bins collected, and you're going to go out and campaign for them? Are you fuck? God damn.
Green Party have been taking them, but also I think because arrogance. Labour.
So even now they're complacent, you think?
100. They've been.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. They've taken this city for fucking granted. I think some of them are in for a rude awakening. I think some of them think that the polling is like wrong. The polling is sensationalist. That they'll cling on in loads of places and be fine. They're not. Trust me, I know this city inside and out. I've lived here damn near all my fucking life, outside of 3 years of college. And even then I was travelling back quite a bit. I know this city politically. I'm a political fucking nerd. Labour are going to get fucking destroyed. They've taken this city for granted, both in terms of not delivering for it, but also just expecting...
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
No, they're always fucking shit. Just expecting that people will always vote for them. They don't even need to try. It was said in certain parts of the city you didn't need to bother counting the votes. You just weighed them. Because they were all Labour anyway. And that kind of attitude seeps through this whole fucking corrupted, bloated, lazy, self-serving political entity that is the Birmingham Labour Party. And that itself is a part of the National Labour Party, which is no less nepotistic, self-serving, financially grasping.
It's the Labour Party. The Labour Party under Keir Starmer. That's the Labour Party here in Birmingham.
Yeah, 100%, yeah. Yeah.
What do you think about the independents?
They're good on Palestine, but they're a bit of a clown show. And there's lots of egos there. And also, they're not very...
At least, again, he's gone out into the community now, okay? I'm not entirely sure. This might be along the Coventry Road, possibly. Certainly looks like it.
Progressive. You know, some of them have been saying, oh, you know, we side with the people who hate migrants, who hate refugees, and also they're quite homophobic. And I've spoken to Shaquille and Amelou. I've been on protest with them. And I've said, look, I'm going to, you know, shake out, I'm going to link arms with you when you're fighting for Palestine, but don't go down a homophobe. You don't need to. Why are you doing this, right? And
you see what I mean? This is your average Muslim doesn't, at best they don't give a fuck about it. And you know, or at worst, they don't think
Sometimes
about
may
it.
be good, sometimes
And
may
many
be
of them
shit.
are fucking super chill about it.
Struggling to stay awake. I'm sure part of the blame for that is Aaron Bostany. Are you doing anything after this?
Am I doing anything? Well, I did have a couple of other bits, but it is getting quite late. So, no, I think I'll probably end it at the end of this stream. But thank you. I mean, you're very generous, and I'm sure you didn't mean it in this way. But I do like that you have been very generous and given me a thing. But also saying the thing that is supposed to be entertainment for me is not enough to keep me awake. You boring cunt, Logan. Do you know what I mean? Like... Just saying. Hey, hello Maria, how are you? Yes, thank you, Lila, with that message. Thank you, Kieran Kinsler, with 5 gifted memberships as well. Just saying, putting the Twitch chat to shame tonight with the generosity. Just saying, I'm not playing you off against one another. What the fuck is this nonsense? Is that a tripene? What's going on there? I don't know. That's weird. I don't like that. Why you gotta do my boy Mr. Streamy like that? You're the only reason I stayed. Well, thank you, Layla. I do appreciate you. And a third arm, definitely.
If you do, then we're going to pick up where we left off and have a battle about it.
So you're going to vote for the local elections?
I'm going to have a look, but in my opinion, it doesn't matter because you got soldiers, workers, and the elite. The soldiers and the workers feed the elite, and that's the end of the story.
Well, that's quite a left-wing thing to say, isn't it? You might vote for Labour, the Greens, or an independent.
Might do the Green.
Might do the Greens. Why not Labour?
Like I said, nothing changes. So
what about reform? They want to change stuff.
They ain't going to change fuck all, mate.
Such a brummy response. They ain't going to change fuck all. So, positive representation. That's all I want from it. Keep right on, kid. Fuck yes. Go on the Blues.
Get Labour in. Tax, tell you what to do. That's it. That's a Labour government for you. That's it. Conservative government, just piffy puff.
Is it muted? What? No audio. Oh shit. Properties, I guess. Okay, we'll try again.
And put somebody in more left wing, and in a sense, that is a result.
Is that better? Did it come back? Oh, it came back. Okay. I don't know what happened there. Something fucking weird going on. You didn't miss a lot. It was just a guy going like, my local council is cool or something, you know. And here he is, back in the place that actually matters. Unfortunately. London.
So we've just got back to London. What have we learned? We're looking at 6 parties.
Thank you for taking a tourist's sort of a safari of somewhere north of Watford. Yippity fuck.
Competitive.
No, to be fair, actually, he did go out into the community and speak to some people. So that was good, actually, but, you know.
A range of wards. And that kind of underscores a major point for me, which is...
That's like better than most people in the sort of London media, who will just go there and be like, oh, we talked to 5 white people and 1 brown at the Bullring, and that's it. And then go back to London and be like, this is Birmingham! And it's ridiculous, obviously.
Nobody really knows what's going to happen after May 7th. Nobody.
One thing we can be very certain of is...
Well, chaos will happen. But how that chaos shakes out, yeah, no one knows.
That Labour are losing Muslim votes on so many issues.
They're losing fucking every votes. There's no... Honestly, I'd be surprised if there is any demographic, be it religion, ethnicity, age, financial status, anything. I'd be surprised if there is any single demographic where they even hold ground in this election. And I'll dig into it for you, chat. I'll go through the statistics and see if I'm wrong on that. But I guarantee you, there is not one statistical key area where they even hold the vote they had in the previous election. He has now been to Birmingham more times than Al Khan's. True! You take that back. Besmirching my fantastic Member of Parliament, who I definitely didn't vote for. Fuck that guy. Can't. Fucking parachutey McParachute face. I almost moved to a pal's couch in Edgbaston. Well, if you nearly did that, you could at least learn how to spell Edgbaston properly. There is no second E. You heathen. Aren't the tourism reform not contesting each other in Birmingham? Well, there's some talk of there being a pact behind the scenes. I don't think it's an official thing. But there's some talk that in certain areas the Tories are holding paper candidates so as to allow reform to win. Because basically the Tory party, again, functionally speaking, the Tory party isn't a national party anymore. They're just not. I mean, there were always parts of the country where they were kind of a skeleton crew anyway. And then some parts of like the home counties where they, absolutely held sway for decades. But functionally speaking, they aren't a national party. There are huge swathes of the country where they don't have constituency parties, where they hold no real elected official, where they can't even put up full slates of candidates without putting up paper candidates. So I think they've essentially sort of given up on parts of Birmingham as well. Which is mad, because there's always been... the Tories have never been that popular or anything, but there's always some people who vote Tory. There are some Conservative people, they just exist, unfortunately. Whereas now, even those people don't want to fucking vote for them. Again, Birmingham is sort of a microcosm of the country in this regard. It's just heightened by the fact that we've had an extra wave of austerity because of the bankruptcy and the bin strike and all the rest of it, that no other place has had. So it's more heightened, it's more extreme than the rest of the country. But it is sort of a microcosm of the kind of national picture, where the Uniparty at Westminster has told us for so many decades this is the way we have to go. And it's gotten worse and worse and worse. Without any real blip otherwise, other than maybe the late 90s, I guess. When Blair came in, there was a thing with Sure Start and NHS investment. I'll give them a little bit of pre-Iraq. It was, not so desperate. But other than that one little kind of period of stability, it's been just downhill. And people are fucking sick of it now. We were promised change. Baldrick himself danced through the streets of London to tell everyone in the country to vote change. And we get continuity Osborneism. The only thing he seems to have realised from Blair is, do war and division in the Middle East. To continue to support Israel's genocide. That's the bit from Blair they've taken. Not the investment in public services or the, social mobility or the, increase in university places, anything like that. No. That'd be terrible. Terrible and silly. And so the people of Birmingham have gone, well, fuck you then. We've had enough of the both of you cunts. So the Conservative voters are going to reform, by and large, and they're picking up some sort of non-aligned people who wouldn't otherwise vote. and the Labour voters are going to either the Liberal Democrats or, in most cases, to the Green Party. Again, whilst the Green Party pick up some disaffected, kind of politically homeless types as well. Which is sort of how the country's going as well. David Baddiel is now thinking of moving to Israel. Wow. I can't say I'm terribly shocked. I can't say I'd be terribly disappointed either.
Not just Gaza, not just foreign policy, on domestic policy, on how the parties perform locally in Birmingham, but also nationally with Keir Starmer. We saw the same thing with Wales, right? And a sense that the local Labour machine was complacent, that it took a community for granted. Again, we keep hearing that, don't we? In 2019...
Well, not just a community, communities. I think he means like the Muslim vote or whatever, but like they took everyone in this city for granted. Just as they took everyone in Wales for granted, and everyone in Scotland for granted, and everyone in the Northern Wall for granted. And they've learned nothing from their recent defeats in these places, or indeed their soon-to-be defeats in these places in the case of Wales. They've learned nothing from it. At least in part because the current iteration of the Labour Party is essentially just a right-wing coup. An undemocratic, authoritarian, purging scumfuck sect that would rather watch both the Labour Party and the country burn than ever let an actual democratically elected leftist achieve anything.
Voters leave Labour, they go to the Tories because they feel taken for granted. Now we're seeing it in Wales. We've seen it in Scotland. We may see
the Wales thing is fucking wild. The fact that like the Labour, like it feels more like, maybe just because I'm used to Birmingham or whatever, but like it feels, because it's geographically a more compact thing, less radical than in the literally across all of Wales. The Labour Party are being wiped out in places where they, again, you didn't need to even count the votes. You could just weigh them because they were all fucking Labour votes, so it didn't matter. You know, you could just put them into one of those like fucking banknote counting machines where you just goes, you know, and counts them all like that because they're all Labour votes, so it doesn't fucking matter. Just it would be quicker, you know. You could have the election count done by 10:30 and be back home before midnight, you know. And they're losing massively in all of these places. And geographically it's more spread. And like places that, you know, Labour did really well in places, you know, the kind of urban centres of South Wales, but also in the valleys as well. Like, Labour took a lot of these places for granted. And there was the especially galling thing, I think, in recent times of allowing the steelworks in... for fuck's sake. I want to say Newport, but I don't think it was Newport, was it? Anyway, the steelworks in... Port Talbot. Thank you. What did I say? Thank you. No one reminded me. I thought of it myself. Anyway, allowing the steelworks in Port Talbot to collapse, and then not just bailing out Scunthorpe, not just bailing them out, but literally doing the thing, look, showing... And by the way, I've got no problem with them bailing out Scunthorpe. I think they absolutely fucking should have done that. But they should have done it for Port Talbot. They should have done it for the place in Scotland, which again, my mind is totally fucking blanked because I'm a fucking Angloid piece of shit, obviously. Anyway, they showed a level of energy that they never show for anywhere else in the country, for Wales or Scotland, where they literally had the Chinese owners were going to go in there and like strip it out and stuff, and so they sent in like London agents to physically take control of the site. Again, showing, by the way, that we can just nationalise things. We don't need to like negotiate with these cunts. We can just take it back. And if you want to recompense them at some point later on, you can. But like, you don't need to fuck around with this shit and ask nicely. We could go and take Thames Water tomorrow. if the political will was there. And the political will was there to save Scunthorpe. It wasn't for Port Talbot, and it wasn't for Scotland. They couldn't give two fucks about the people of those places. And people see that. That doesn't go unnoticed. Like, I imagine completely and utterly that has been forgotten about at Westminster. The Port Talbot Steelworks has not entered the mind of the Westminster blob since it happened.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
Oh no, the blob is always shit, Gennaro. But the people of Wales didn't fucking forget. And whilst Westminster forgets that there are elections, those elections roll round. And people remember what you did when you didn't need their vote anymore. And now you need their vote again. Grangemouth is the place I was trying to think of. Thank you, thee, Jack Mellor, for either Googling or remembering. Either way, thank you. People remember. And the Labour Party are going to get deservedly punished in these places. It's just wild that the very cradle of the Labour movement in Wales no longer having virtually any Labour representation at all in the Senate, and it looks likely that will be the result after the next general election as well. It's a remarkable thing. Really, genuinely historic. We live in interesting political times, people. Not necessarily good times, but certainly not boring.
In London as well, with voters going towards the Greens. Alongside the collapse of the Muslim vote for Labour is...
Oh, hello, No Justice and the No Justice Arenos? The Helen stands? I don't know. Anyway, hello there, everybody. Welcome on in. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and tell me that I'm handsome. Even though you can't see me. I am but a voice today. I'd usually be on camera, but I couldn't be bothered today. Thank you, That Sick Guy, for 6 months of membership. Fucking legend.
Something that really surprised me today, and that was two British Muslims, Sam Yaqub and Ahmed Yaqub, not related, saying that actually they aren't beneficiaries of the Biradari system, they're fighting against it.
Right, but that's a lie. They're lying to you, Aaron.
That is not something you will hear in the media. The line...
Well, that, I mean, yeah, you probably won't. And that's its own sort of story, I guess. But, like... Like, I genuinely... And Helen, I don't want to get you in trouble with your employer or anything, so I'm not going to be too horrific about him. But again, I don't think he did a good journalistic job interviewing those two guys. He was too happy to play into the narrative of fuck the London media that he forgot to actually question whether the things he was being told were true or accurate. Like, literally, how can one describe themselves as having Che Guevara as a political hero whilst also being fantastically homophobic and describing themselves as a centrist? That doesn't make any fucking sense.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
No, it's always shit, Gennaro. Shut up. It doesn't make any fucking sense. And yet it was just sort of left out there? That's not okay. He knows better than that. He knows better than that.
Will be, with the full support of the Tory and the Labour parties, this is sectarian, it's new, we've never seen this before. But what those guys said is actually no. That's what we had. You had block voting, and as long as it served the Labour Party, nobody said anything. It was fine. But the minute that Muslims don't vote for Labour and they vote for the Greens or they vote for independence, then all of a sudden it's block voting and we have to stop it.
Okay, but like the guys you were talking to literally said that Muslims shouldn't vote for the Greens on the basis that they are okay with gay people. So they're not challenging the idea that the They don't see the Green Party as not part of the establishment because that's how the gays get you or something. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, that's not okay, man. Come on.
I was shocked to learn that Salma Yaqub doesn't actually agree with postal votes. I didn't know
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah.
that. She's saying something which, please forgive me, Salma, she's saying something that Nigel Farage agrees with. Now, back to the idea of complacency and it being a universal...
Yeah, probably not for the same reason, I imagine. But I disagree with both of them anyway, whatever.
feeling in British politics. Everybody feels that the political class is complacent and that they're taken for granted.
No, I already saw the second cartoon, yeah. Another hook-nosed representation of Zach Polanski. Befitting Der Stürmer itself.
That is the set of conditions that creates the vacuum into which people like Nigel Farage, Ahmed Yaqub, Zach Polanski step into. Plaid Cymru, to a lesser extent, the SNP, historically. So when you get the political media class saying, oh my God, how did we end up with Zach Polanski and Ahmed Yaqub and Nigel Farage? Because of you, actually. Because of the politics that you wanted.
That's true. I will absolutely say that's a perfectly sound piece of political analysis. Yeah. The reason you end up with people, whether they're, I mean, some of whom are extreme and some of whom are not, but people who challenge the orthodox political parties, especially in places like Birmingham, but not exclusively, are because the orthodox parties and their one approach to everything, which is essentially continuity Thatcherism for the last 50 fucking years, or nearly 50 years, whatever, 40 something years, has not served the people. It has not served the people, and so you're going to get a reaction to that. And it's not always going to be a reaction that's very palatable to a lot of people. And it's not a reaction that you can control. And that's ultimately the thing. I've had this with the British establishment for a long time. They would honestly prefer that the country burn but remain in control. And not just in a Labour Party sense, but like the power structure. The class system. This, they would happily take... That's why they were fine with Boris Johnson. Because he's a posh lad. He's a posh boy. He went to the right school. He knows all the right people. He rubs all the right shoulders. That's fine. If he was exactly that same person, but spoke with a Middlesbrough accent, and went to, you know, local state comp school, they'd have hated it. It's all about control and establishing, not even establishing, but maintaining the systems that are in play. One of the sickening elements of modern British politics, which is nothing to do necessarily with Aaron's point, but I think is worth sort of talking about or worth shining some light on, is the way in which they have chosen minorities as representation to front bigotry. So we've seen people like Priti Patel and Shabana Mahmood and various other people of colour take up really important roles in instituting some of the most draconian immigration policy that we've ever had. We've seen LGBT people or women attacking trans people and women's rights. We have seen women MPs fronting for rapists and domestic abusers. We have seen people who are nominally anti-rape campaigners like Jess Phillips defending the government's lack of action on grooming. They have co-opted, through liberal identity politics, some of the minorities, although women aren't a minority, but you get the idea, some of the underserved, underprivileged peoples, in order to front the continuation of that power structure. And whether people knowingly see that or not, they certainly feel it. They certainly feel there's something very wrong going on here. And so the people that are telling them it's wrong, or people that are telling them it's not wrong, the people that are telling them that this is the normal island, working as it should be, this is sensible, grown-up politics, none of your student politics, sensible centrism, are so despised by the general population. Because it doesn't work for us. It doesn't work for us in the slightest. And people are beginning to realise and wake up. And that's scary for the establishment, but fantastic for us.
So when you see people on the BBC or in the papers saying, where did Ahmed Yaqub come from? He came from you.
Yeah. Yeah. The establishment created the swamp from which people like him would rise. And when I say people like him, I don't mean Muslims. I mean like extremists, homophobes. Nasty, violent, sometimes aggressive, corrupt people will rise. Because people will vote for a nutter over the same cunts.
His response to the world that you created. On a positive note, yes, people are fighting in Birmingham. Not literally, although you might get there.
Actually, that did happen. There was a guy, a councillor, who punched one of his constituents who was caught on CCTV. There's some argument as to whether it might have counted as self-defence because of aggressive language or something. But either way, they are literally fighting. Yeah.
And of course, that's a bad thing. People are fighting in a way. But also, it's maybe a good thing. They're fighting. They want something different. They believe in something. The apathy is over. But here's the point. We can talk about the end of the two-party system. We can talk about newcomers. We can talk about insurgents. And that's super interesting ahead of May 7th. But if you have 4, 5, 6 parties on Birmingham City Council with a decent number of councillors on May the 8th, May the 9th, what happens then? We've been talking about a collapse of the political...
What happens then? You go into a round-robin pillow fight competition. The last one gets to be council leader. Boom. Let's go.
System, the two-party system for a long time. In Birmingham and in Wales, it's happening. We don't need to talk about it anymore. The real question is, what comes next?
It's a very good question. And I wish I could answer, but as he sort of pointed out, what happens in Birmingham, no one quite knows. After the 7th of May, so only a couple of days away now, chap, there will be chaos in this city. There'll be a certain amount of chaos across the country, as we're going to see the genuine fracturing of the two-party system in a way that we really haven't virtually ever seen, I don't think. Or at least since maybe like the Labour Party came up and replaced the Liberal Party as the sort of progressive party in the early 20th century. But either way, there's going to be chaos, and functionally how we form a council out of that, I don't fucking know. I don't know. What is the craze about holding those little microphones? Why can't they get lapel mics? Well, as you saw in Intrepid, he was interviewing people. So unless you want him to go up and put his lapel into people's faces, like it's a little microphone, they're cheap, they're durable, the sound's very good. You know, it's not a craze. It's practically speaking how a smaller organisation gets higher quality content for a reasonable price. There you go. After Black Sabbath, no one knows what happened to Birmingham, I've heard it said. Well, no, after the Rats. After the Rats took over, it was game over. I love that we're the city of the giant rats. Fucking hell. It's so brummy it hurts. I mean, literally, because they bite you. Anyway, chitty chats and kitty cats and giant rats. Whichever one of you are. You can. What can you do? Oh yeah, you can go now. You can leave. I give you permission to leave if you want. What's this? Sorry, hang on. Thank you. Thank you, Jack Maller. Politico teacher was talking about this with Helena. The electorate expect ideological consistency. If they don't get it, they will abandon you for the parties that are. Yeah, basically, yeah. That's a pretty good way of putting it. And it's not so much about ideological consistency, it's about outcome, I think. It's about, which obviously stems to a certain extent from ideological matters, but ultimately people want their lives to be improved. Sorry to get all Marxist about this, but it's about the material conditions, don't you know? People want their lives to be, at the very least, not made worse by their elected officials, but ideally made better. But at the very least, not made worse. And if you can do that, you'll get re-elected. Honestly, the standards are so fucking low for what the British people expect from its government, be it local or national. And yet they consistently just refuse to. Because, again, they're ideologically tethered to this centrist, austerity, fucking neoliberal shit. Anyway. Thank you, Andrew Luke, for subscribing. Much love to you. And thank you, Lady Spellwood, who says, rat tithe. True, don't forget to pay your rat tithe, everybody. Rat maxing. True. Anyway, right, I am going to go now, because it is 10 past midnight in the correct time zone. If you are in an incorrect time zone, you will believe it to be a different time, but you are incorrect, because you are in an incorrect time zone. It follows naturally. Who shall I send you over to? Katie Marshall is going, so I'll send you there on the YouTubes. Much love. Who's going on Twitch? Oh, and thank you to Helena for raiding. Everyone go and follow Helena on all of the platforms. I'll go over to Lux Progressive, who is an American leftoid and cool. Okie doke. I'll be back probably tomorrow. But if not, I'll be back on election night. I might start quite late. I'll be with Christy and possibly some other people. I have put out some feelers to people. We'll see who gets back. And we'll do a late night stream. Helena, if you're still watching, you're very welcome, but you probably are in London or something. Anyway, I will talk. And, yeah. Free Palestine. Free Birmingham, frankly. From the tyranny of both the Labour Party and the giant rats. And those two things are connected. No pass around.